Welding a gas tank without proper precautions. This was a disaster waiting to happen before any hot work. You need to clear all gas, remove flammable objects, and have safety equipment ready. One small mistake can be enough. This worker stops his truck and then takes a hose from the water pit, starts the flow, and brings it to the back of the truck. He could be wetting the load to suppress dust or washing the truck's tires before leaving the site. Either way, it's just another normal workday until everything goes wrong. The truck starts rolling forward straight toward the water pit. Whether it was left in neutral or suffered a brake failure, the result is the same: a runaway truck. This footage is from a ceremony somewhere in Asia. The wall was not reinforced. No structural support, no stability, just bricks stacked inside a loose trench without proper reinforcement. Collapse was inevitable. All underground structures must be properly reinforced to prevent collapses. Trenches should also be shored up to stop the soil from shifting. Cutting corners on safety can lead to disasters. This explosion in an electric arc furnace was likely triggered by moisture, either from water-contaminated scrap or a leak in the furnace cover in high-temperature environments. Even a small amount of water can flash into steam, instantly causing a violent explosion. Wet ground, unstable ladder, and the spotter walks away. This is a disaster waiting to happen. High-altitude work demands constant supervision, and a solid foundation never climb without proper footing. And a dedicated spotter, one step wrong can be devastating. During routine maintenance, the truck began to roll. One worker was between the wheels but escaped just in time. No injuries, but it could have been fatal. Always secure the vehicle handbrake gear engaged and wheel chocks lock it before you touch it. I've said this many times before, but it needs repeating. Never stand under a lifted heavy load. A heavy lifting operation goes wrong at the steel manufacturing facility. As the crane holds the metal component, the sling unexpectedly snaps, sending the load crashing down. Tall and heavy cargo like this should only be handled with a forklift, or by at least 3 people rushing without the right equipment. Or manpower can lead to accidents. Always prioritize safety. This worker got his hand stuck. He was really lucky that he had his colleague nearby to help him. In this video, an unsecured lifting point made the metal workpiece to slip, leading to an accident. This highlights the critical need for proper rigging and safety checks. Before any lift, always inspect lifting points, use the right equipment, and stay clear of suspended loads. Here the stacked sheets remained stable because these 2 workers were leaning against them. However, when they moved to assist their colleagues with another sheet, the support was lost without being properly secured. The entire stack overturned, causing the sheets to fall one after another. This incident highlights a crucial safety lesson: loads must always be properly secured. A group of workers use a pallet jack to move tall glass panels without securing them. When they stopped, inertia caused the panels to tilt and fall. Heavy or fragile materials must always be properly secured when using manual equipment. Pallet jacks don't stop physics. A forklift loads 2 stacked wooden crates onto a trailer where 2 workers are arranging cargo. But the forks were off-center, and the crates weren't secured as the operator lowers the load. It tilts and topples when multiple people are involved in loading or unloading. A designated coordinator is essential. Communication prevents chaos. A moving platform loaded with bricks crashes after its remote control, fails as it continues along its rails. The worker desperately tries to stop it, but the system is unresponsive in frustration. He throws the remote, but the platform keeps going, overshoots the end, and collapses off the edge, slamming to the ground. Fortunately, no workers were injured, but the platform will need some serious repairs. This pallet was too tall and unstable, and without proper support or visibility, it tipped off the forks. Several workers unload large, heavy items using a pallet jack on a slippery metal ramp with no safety equipment, no loading dock, and no protective gear. The accident happens when the truck tilts backward, under the weight causing the heavy load to slide uncontrollably. These steel coils suddenly unravel while workers are handling them manually. This kind of work should never be done by hand. Uncoiling must be done from a safe distance using machines. Hands and instincts are no match for metal under pressure. A stack of heavy formwork panels begins to tip after a worker removes a piece from the stack. If materials start falling, don't play hero. Step back, let it fall. While unloading, this dump truck's hydraulic cylinder suddenly blew out, sending the raised bed crashing down. Fortunately, nobody was injured. Always inspect and maintain hydraulic systems. One weak cylinder can destroy a whole vehicle or worse. While inspecting the top drive drilling system, a heavy motorized unit that rotates the drill string, it suddenly activated, striking the workers. This kind of uncontrolled movement is extremely dangerous. A worker operating a magnetic crane to lift a steel block off a rail cart and place it on the forklift, but the load was misjudged much longer than the forks and far too heavy, poor coordination. Bad timing and a complete lack of load assessment nearly caused a serious accident. During the unloading of a pressurized tanker, likely carrying gas or a volatile liquid, the hose connection suddenly detached under intense pressure. The hose violently whipped around, releasing the stored energy in a terrifying and dangerous display. Please note that the video speed is set to normal. It is not sped up in any way. This worker attempts to throw something that looks like a frame off the truck, but forgot that it's looped around him. This causes him to lose balance and fall. Fortunately, his colleagues quickly assist him, and he appears to be fine after the incident. In this clip, a pressurized tank suddenly explodes with immense force, launching into the air like a rocket. The sheer power of the explosion demonstrates the dangers of improperly handled or overpressurized tanks. In this video, a truck tire explodes while being inflated, a powerful reminder of the risk involved. This kind of incident can happen due to overinflation defects or improper handling. It's a clear reason why you should never stand near an inflating tire and always leave such tasks to train personnel. This is a clear example of why proper equipment is essential when handling heavy objects. Instead of manual pulling using a forklift or proper lifting tools could have prevented this accident. This accident could have been avoided with better machine design. As the worker loads the mixer with a sack of powder, the sack gets caught. This highlights a major safety flaw. These two workers approach an industrial machine for repairs, but they make a critical mistake. They don't ensure the power is fully disconnected without warning the machine suddenly starts. A worker performed repairs on a truck's side railing and inserted his head through an opening. The entire railing detached, causing the worker who was caught in the railing to fall from the truck, flipping as he fell. His colleagues responded very quickly, supporting his body and helping free him from the railing. Never place body parts through structural gaps unless the assembly is fully secured and safe. On a construction site, workers prepared to hoist a large prefabricated piece. One worker stepped onto the piece while half of it was standing on a floor edge. The piece tipped and fell. To prevent this, never stand on or apply force to heavy materials positioned dangerously close to an open edge. A fire broke out at a chemical plant, triggering several explosions. One of the explosions caused a gas cylinder to be propelled through the air with great force, striking a nearby building. Fortunately, no one was injured in the incident. A worker is sweeping near a heavy load being hoisted overhead when the lifting ropes suddenly break and the load falls to the ground. Thanks to his fast reactions, the worker quickly moved away and avoided any injury. Two workers attempted to use the bucket of a front loader to raise themselves to install something. The bucket was unstable and their load tilted, causing a dangerous situation. Fortunately, the operator assisted them and they escaped with no injuries. A worker was performing maintenance next to a machine producing large steel rods. Because machine lockout and tagging procedures were not followed, a hot steel rod was suddenly pushed out, pushing the worker from behind. Fortunately, the vigilance of his colleagues saved him.